TSF Entertainment.
And welcome back to the TSF Entertainment channel. It is your boy Retro CG in the building on this good Saturday evening. I'm joined by DJ Fresh, Your Highness in the building. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, bro? Man,
how you doing?
I've been a little hiatus, but we back.
We back. You know how we do. We
back.
Take our breaks.
Yeah, we take our little breaks. We got some other stuff cooking in the pot. We gonna bring.
All right, so long awaited. We're finally back for season 3 of Bel-Air. It's episode 1. Baby, I am back. So disclaimer, we realized that Peacock has dropped all 3 episodes for season 3, but we will be reviewing episode by episode. Yep. So we will not be talking about the events of episode 2 and 3 in this episode. We're going to talk about episode 1, Baby, I'm back. All right. So with that in mind, what did you think about the episode?
First episode, I was just like, I was like, I might be 5.5. Like, I mean, it was good that they picked up where they left off from last season, but it was just like, it was nothing that I was just like blown away by. It was almost like everything was like almost in a sense like predictable. In a sense, I think like the only thing that kind of caught me, well, I won't say caught me off guard or made me be like, oh, was like the girl with Carlton at rehab. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
I was like, got a little tenderoni.
Yep, that was
and then oh yeah, and dang. Hold on, was it this episode? I don't want to jump.
See there?
Was this episode about Frederick?
I think he's talked about it this episode, yes.
But we didn't see him.
Yeah, I think he's talked about it. Yeah, I don't think we see him yet.
If he is, we'll see. That's like you said. Yeah. That's the problem with them dropping all 3. All them joints ran together.
With us watching all 3 before we decide we're going to review episode by episode.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this episode. Episode synopsis is summertime in Bel-Air brings big changes for the Banks family who prepare to host an annual Juneteenth festivities. All right, so we got the whole family back together. We got the cast back together. The episode starts off with Will and Lisa. They are kind of hanging out for the summer. Looks like Lisa's got her a summer job down at the country club. Will seems like he's hanging out much more at the country club, probably because Lisa works there as a lifeguard. Mm-hmm. And it seems like they are rekindling their relationship, or they're in a better place than where they were last season. So they're kind of just rekindling their relationship. So what did you think about this scene? And
bro, I was just like, this how we kick it off, and I was not expecting them to come out of a cabana.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, like y'all just out in the open. So you literally both of y'all walked in the cabana and just closed that joint up in front of everybody in the pool.
Yeah, watch your work.
I was like, is she talking about I got a couple more minutes on my break? So I'm thinking like, oh, they had the crib or something, and then they just walked. Like,
yeah,
real, like this what y'all doing? I was like, okay, all right.
I like the chemistry between Will and Lisa, but still, it still seems a little forced for me. I don't know. Maybe the relationship will start to kind of feel a little bit more cohesive as the season goes, but it just seems like they're forcing these characters together. It doesn't feel as organic as I feel like it should. All right, so Will's hanging out at the country club, and he runs into Quentin Harris, who's an ex-MMA fighter, who's now running a venture capitalist business, or maybe he's a philanthropist or something like that.
Yeah, venture capitalist business,
where he is identifying young Black
entrepreneurs
to fund their business. So I said, this is something different. But then I had to try to ask myself, okay, is this going to be a plot twist where, everything that looks good isn't good type situation? Like, what's the catch?
I was thinking that exact same thing.
Okay.
I was thinking that exact same thing because I was like, they introduced him so early.
Yeah.
To like, I mean, this was
randomly.
This was like what? less than 5 minutes into the episode, maybe about 5 minutes. So that's why when they introduced him, I was just like, okay. I was like, and everybody know that's, if you don't know, that's Vic Menses. But I was like, okay, we
Yep.
got a new character. Okay,
A new
I
character.
was like, okay, this is a plot twist or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, I'm thinking the exact same thing. I wonder how that's gonna go later on down in the season.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's another shoe that's going to fall out of this, that this whole storyline. Speaking of things that are forced, I'm not really interested in LaMarcus and Hillary's storyline. It just seems so. It just seems so disconnected. You know, it just seems like, Hillary is just kind of hanging out. She kind of looks like a tag along. She's just hanging on his coattail, just like trying to reap the benefits of his celebrity status or whatever. But I'm thinking to myself, like, you're already rich and you're already well connected. You don't really need him for popularity.
Yeah.
But it seems like that's what the basis of the relationship is based off of. He truly loves her and has feelings for her, but it seems like, she's in it for what she can get out of the situation. I don't think she truly has strong intimacy feelings towards. She got love for him because they got a history, but I don't think that she's truly in love with him.
I don't think it's what she could get out of it. I think it's more so like she just trying to force it, because if you remember last season when she went to go talk to Jazz at his record store, she saw him dancing with some girls, so her feelings got hurt. And then she went back, and that's what made her go with LaMarcus to Paris. Because now she like, okay, you know what? It is what it is. Like he don't care about me. So now it's like, all right. So I think now it's more so like she's trying to force herself to feel the same way as LaMarcus. But we know her real feelings is for Jazz.
Okay, you just actually resolved my conflict with this. Okay, you just absolutely resolved my conflict with this, because I was just trying to figure out what it is. Maybe it was a little off-putting to say that she's trying to get out of him, because I don't necessarily think that she's gold digging on him or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
But it doesn't feel natural. So the way you describe that best explains why I feel like this ain't a relationship that's going to work.
Yeah, when we get to a certain scene, I go into more detail. I kind of reiterate, and you probably know what scene I'm talking about too.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. All right, so you got Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil. They in the mansion. They're taking pictures for the Essence cover. They're this strong, beautiful Black power couple. And I'm like, everything in these first opening scenes just felt like this ain't real.
Yeah,
everything felt like fake news. Everything felt like fake news. Even this photo shoot with them, I'm like, this don't feel like it's actually real. Like they putting on airs. And I'm like, I was trying to figure out, I guess that's what brought me back to my comment about, I just don't remember what happened at the end of season 2. Because everyone feels like they're in a better place, but everyone feels like they're putting on. It don't feel like it's real.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley touched on it when she's speaking to right now, I'm gonna say her friend.
Olivia.
Yeah,
Olivia.
when she was speaking about it, because how last season episode ended is when Carlton revealed his whole addiction and everything. So I think it's more so now like they're just trying to I don't want to say save face, but it kind of seems that way.
Okay.
It kind of seems that way because Carlton's in rehab, and like y'all doing a photo shoot, and like Ashley was saying, like it's all fake, it's a mirage. Like they're just trying to act like nothing is going on with our family right now, but our family is in shambles right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's more so like what it was. That's how I took it. Was just like, y'all just trying to act like, oh, ain't nothing going on right now. Because I would have loved to see at least how did y'all even get to an Essence photo shoot?
Yeah.
Like who was the person that brought that to y'all? Because like I get it. Viv has the
Neiman Fellowship that she's now the director over. So I felt like it was more so spotlighting her. And then I think what Uncle Phil is now going into private practice. He's in private practice now. So I think the way they shot this, it actually it led up to this scene with Ashley and Olivia. It was very necessary.
Yeah.
That comment was very necessary because it truly had me feeling just like what she said. Like, I don't know, this don't feel right. This feel like we putting on. We ain't keeping it 100 right now. And when she made that comment, I was like, I agree. Actually, I was like, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
So I think they shot that very well. Carlton is finishing up what appears to be his last day at rehab. So he's making his little speech, kind of like saying his goodbye speech and reaffirming his sobriety. And he's getting ready to go home. So, we're proud to see Carlton make it through his first 30 days at rehab. I feel like he should have been there a little bit longer than 30 days.
I was thinking the exact same thing. When they said a month, I was like, that's it.
Like, that ain't enough.
I was like, bro was snorting pills. I forgot what it was.
Medics.
Yeah. I was like, he wasn't like, bro was drinking
and wilding out.
I was like,
sister and all that. I'm like, okay, maybe 90 days.
At least 60.
At least 60.
Yeah.
Preferably 90, at least 60. And I was thinking to myself, what really would have been good was if they would, even if it was just a scene, a flashback, or a couple episodes of us actually seeing him in rehab and going through the process.
Mm-hmm.
And him being a rich kid going through rehab and going through the process of like, okay, you just like everybody else now that struggles with addiction. Yep. So no matter how well connected your family is, no matter how well off they are, you still got to do that work in order to maintain and reestablish sobriety. So I really wish that they would have shown us just a little bit of that, just for the purposes of the fact that Carlton is in rehab. Like that would have been real big for them to spend a little time on with us.
Yeah.
All right, so we meet a new character. I was wondering who she was. I figured that she was going to be connected to Carlton in some way, form, or fashion. I wasn't really thinking love interest at first. I just felt like she was going to be someone that was going to help him along his journey after he got out of rehab. But for some reason, love interest didn't click with me until she came to the room. Yep. Goodbye. And when she opened that shirt up, I was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah,
I'm trying to love interest. And if anybody, when y'all watch this, if y'all can drop down in the comments, because I'm trying to figure out. I've seen her. I don't know if it's been in movies or in TV shows, but I've seen her somewhere else before. But I just cannot remember or gather where I've seen her from. I'm probably going to do some research on her or whatever, but I've seen her somewhere before. But yeah, I was the same way as you. I was just like, oh, okay. I was like, maybe they just like friends that she walked through the door and did it. I was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah. She does look familiar. I agree with you on that. I was going to ask you the same thing. Like, where's she from? Where have we seen her at?
We've seen her somewhere.
Yeah, we've seen her somewhere. All right, so Carlton is like, rehab 101 is no personal relationships or anything like that. She's like, yeah, but he was like, technically we're kind of leaving, so they were getting ready to do what they wanted to do until Will comes there all loud. Lock the door.
Exactly, lock the door, close the blinds. I was like, yeah, I don't know, somebody could be walking past or whatever. Like, I literally thought I wasn't even expecting her to run off. But I guess from Will knocking on the door, it saved him.
It saved him, yeah. Yeah.
Because sure enough, I was like, damn, that's how we about to start that. He about to get caught already.
Was it just me that in this scene, Will was happy to see him and greeted him. Uncle Phil seemed to be happy and greeted him. Aunt Vil seemed to be a little bit standoffish, reserved. And we later on find out her feelings towards the situation. But I said right there, I said, oh, they're going to have conflict still. These characters are going to have conflict. Right? So it sounds like Will has planned out everything, including getting the family together to welcome Carlton home. He's went out and he's got all his Carlton's favorite foods and everything. And he's got the family together to kind of celebrate his cousin being home. So I said that was dope. Will genuinely seems to be happy that Carlton is back. He's got his friend back. He's got his cousin back. The whole family's back together. So let's pick up the pieces and let's put the family back together. And I could just tell at this dinner table right here, I said, are we getting ready to have a Tejada family dinner?
Hey, I was trying to save for when we got into the other episodes. But since you done brought it up, I feel like within these first 3 episodes, they watched Power
Yeah,
in some sort, the writers, because
somebody.
it's some of those scenes, it just felt like, yo, I was watching Power. And I was like, right, like what I was like, what's going on? I was like, this not Power. Like, but it felt like it because prime example, this right here, especially with Ashley, like she getting stern, it just felt like
I know.
Diana and
Diana.
and I was like,
Yep.
okay. And then there's some other scenes in the other episodes. I was like, yeah, these writers had to have been watching Power and some other joints.
Even the way that they have them placed at the table, the seating. That's what made me feel like, I'm like, damn, we get ready to have a Tejada. Will is Drew. Carlton is Kane.
Yep.
Viv is Monet.
In fact, yo,
Ashley's Diana.
you're right, because Lorenzo was at the head of the table.
Yep.
And then Monet was at the other, and Uncle Phil was at the head. And then, yo, I didn't even think about that.
Felt like it. I was like, oh shit. Especially when I kept looking at Ashley's body language. Her body language was very telling. You could tell that she didn't want to be there. You could tell that she was just even more, her skin was crawling even more by the fact that she had to sit next to Carlton. And, she's like everybody else is faking the funk. But, I'm still upset about how you yoked me up.
Yep.
And the fact that you just blew your whole spot and the family spot up about being a cokehead or addicted to drugs. Ashley ain't sitting well with this. Like, she's like, y'all can sit here and kiki and ha ha all y'all want to, but I got questions.
Yeah.
And so when they were going around the table talking about, what all they had been going through since Carlton has been gone, like a lot has happened in this 30 days. But Uncle Phil's talking about his new practice. Viv is talking about her new staff over at the Neiman Fellowship. Hillary's bragging about her world tour that she went on with LaMarcus. Will is now a country club boy. So Ashley was like, yeah, okay.
Like, what you learned?
Back to rehab. Like, are you clean now? Are you good? Is it safe for me to be sitting next to you right now? Because it sure wasn't safe over here at the school when you yoked me up. So I was like, okay, is she getting ready to like put him on blast in front of everybody about how he yoked her up at the school?
I thought she was.
I thought she was too. So I said, damn, we about to get a Tejada family dinner over here at Bel-Air.
It was like, okay, y'all kicking it off already.
Yeah.
This scene right here, honestly, I could have did without it.
I was thinking the same thing. Why you say that?
Because it was just like when she said it, like, so when both of them, they're sitting down here, they're having this conversation, she's like, I should have been there for you, etc. But then I'm thinking in my head, like, I could be wrong. I don't ever remember any episode where she was there for him.
I said the same thing.
So I was like, so why? You know what I'm saying? So I was sitting here lost. I was just like, why is she? Oh, I should have been here for you. And I was like, if I remember correctly, there was no episode where like you were there for him.
There was no character interaction or development between these two characters. Hillary's character development has always been kind of centered around Aunt Viv and Ashley and Jazz. So there has been very little, if not any, scenes where her and Carlton kind of interacted with each other or had that brother or sister type relationship. So that's why this felt off-putting, because I felt the same way. I felt the exact same way. I'm like, the fact that she was in his room, it just didn't even feel natural.
Exactly.
You see Carlton and Will more in each other's room than you do Hillary. So it just felt out of place. Again, going back to every scene that Hillary is in with other characters feels out of place because they have tailored her story around certain characters.
That and the what was it? The creator's house.
The influencer's house,
yeah, the influencer's house.
Yes.
So that's why I was so lost when I saw this part. When it came to, I was like, so I was watching, I was like, that don't make sense, but okay.
I literally was trying to fast forward through this scene. I was like, I don't care. What is going on? Please explain to me why Aunt Viv ain't giving Uncle Phil no loving.
I mean, I took it as, I looked at it as like,
I didn't get no loving.
But like she hadn't paid attention until Uncle Phil said something. And I looked at it as it was between multiple things. It was one, them dealing with Carlton, and then two, she getting that role in the Fellowship, and then he starting that new firm. So it was just like, at some point, like they just wasn't crossing paths. Like it just was one of them joints. Like, oh, you working, I'm working. I come home, I'm sleep. You come, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, like she said, we about to be one of those couples where we got to plan it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I looked at it, as like, oh, it's one of them joints where like, they both just busy, like, or whatever. So I mean, I don't know.
I think, okay, I agree with what you're saying. I like that explanation. I had a slightly different viewpoint on it because remember, they brought Detective Carter. I can't even remember old boy's name.
I forgot his name too. I forgot his name.
Reed. His name was
Yeah.
Reed. His name was Reed. Reed. Okay, they were setting the tone with Aunt Viv with Reed's character. She was already kind of pulling away from Uncle Phil during that.
That was in
story.
season 1, wasn't it?
Season 1 or 2, I don't know.
I think it was season 1. And because we saw him,
that's where he recommended her for the Fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
And they went off to San Diego. They went off to San Diego for a little trip. Uncle Phil showed up, and she was upset about that. They were setting the tone where there was going to be where, Reed probably was going to cross the line with her, or try to hit on her or make a move on her or whatever. But she was already kind of pulling away from Uncle Phil then. So it's kind of like they're keeping that storyline for her, just without the character.
Yeah.
Because she seems disinterested in her marriage. Even last season, she seemed a little bit disconnected from her marriage, but they're not giving us an on-screen explanation as to why she's pulling away from the marriage. So I get you saying that she's busy with work and all their changes that they've been through, and that's plausible. But I just go back to the fact that, there was a man that was hitting on her. He was complimenting her about her art. He was making her feel alive again, whereas she wasn't getting that attention from Uncle Phil because of the campaign. So I said, okay, yeah, she's kind of already kind of pulled away from him because of all of that. But now that they have kind of just written this character off without giving us an explanation on screen, they didn't totally scrap the storyline that they were going with Aunt Viv related to that character. So I feel like we're still seeing that version of Aunt Viv, but it's not an explanation as to why she's so standoffish from a marriage. Maybe we'll see that in later episodes.
I think we will.
I think to myself, y'all out eating again? Y'all just had dinner.
I didn't even peep that.
Like, y'all just got finished eating. Like, y'all.
I did not even peep that till you just said that, because that's the exact same. How did I not peep that? I'm thinking this is just like I'm thinking this is a different day. I didn't even think about that. This is the exact same time. I did not, until you said something, I did not peep that.
So later that night, Carlton and Will are kind of hanging out. They're at this like burger joint or whatever, and they're catching up. They're using this time to catch up. Will's kind of bringing Carlton up to speed. Like, man, you'll never believe it, but I've been hanging out at the country club. Me and Lisa's trying to get back together. And I've just been doing my thing, enjoying the summer or whatever. He's kind of giving him an update on what's going on at Zenith and the basketball thing. And Carlton is still having aspirations of going to Princeton.
Yep.
And so the order comes up, and Will walks up to go get the order, and he runs into his father, Lou. And I was like, why are we bringing this character back? What is the reason? But shout out to Marlon Wayans. He did good.
He did good.
I complimented him the first time he was on screen as the character, Will's father, and I felt like he did a good job in this episode as well. Will runs into his father, and he instantly gets shook. And he just runs off. He couldn't process it. He couldn't deal with it. He just loses his ish, and he runs off. Carlton gets the food and chases after Will or whatever. What did you think we were being set up for this?
When I first saw that, I was like, I thought it was going to be something where, like, either Luke, I had a feeling like it was going to be something that was going to come out, of the dark with Lou. Because like I said, when he first saw him, it was just like, yo, what you doing here? And I figured then it was gonna be something that Lou was like, he was there doing something illegal, or
I hear the streets.
Yeah, like he was doing something, you know what I'm saying, something of that nature or whatever. And then I thought we was even going to see, which we still might, because we've only seen 3 episodes, so we might see Lou later on. But when I first saw it, it was just like, okay, I was like, oh, Lou's back. So then I looked at it two ways. I said, either he out here doing something illegal, and I said, I hope this is not the route they're going. I said, but maybe this season Lou is going to be in Will's ear to help him and motivate him, and he's going to try to leave Uncle Phil in them house and go be with Lou. And I was like, I hope that's not, because I was like, that's literally going to be the exact same thing that happened on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's funny you should say that, because I thought the same thing. I thought the exact same thing, right? Even down to him leaving and going with Lou. I thought the exact same thing. But then part of me feels like Bel-Air is finally starting to develop their own story arcs away from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They're just using these characters. So this season right here is really, they're really coming into their own now. Yeah. Where even with Carlton being on drugs and in rehab or whatever, they are obviously going far, far away from the DNA of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're not going to go down that route because they are doing such a different storytelling of this family.
Yeah.
Damn, Carlton got to take drug tests at the house.
I was so lost when I first saw this scene before he came out with the cup. I was like, he was just sitting there. I was like,
and we didn't even talk about it, but in the scene with him and Hillary, where he realized they had took the door off the hinges.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They had took the doors off his closet and the room door. Like, you ain't got no privacy around here, sir.
I was still thinking like that ain't gonna stop him from
going to the bathroom,
like, going to snort. Like, y'all ain't upstairs 24/7 enough to, like, he'd go in his closet real quick, like he was always doing, take a little bump.
So I'm left to assume that Carlton is completely drug free now, that he's not even on the Xanax, because it wasn't like he was taking cocaine anyway. So they're giving him a 10-pound drug test. He's got prescribed medication that he was crushing up and snorting. So exactly what were you drug testing him for? I don't know. I guess that was to highlight the fact that, you know, the seriousness that the family is taking about Carlton and his addiction. He has to take daily drug tests in order to stay in the house and all this stuff. They got a lock on the wine cellar. He had a hard time processing that when he came home for dinner. When they were sitting down for the dinner, he found out there was a lock on the wine cellar.
I didn't even understand that, because I was like, Carlton didn't even drink like that.
Well, don't forget, he get drunk that night when he revealed at the dinner party. He revealed something. I don't know if it was about Will. Oh yeah, he revealed that Will had pow that dude back in Philly, and that's why he was there in Bel-Air. Remember, he had got drunk that night.
I mean, I remember him drinking like the first season, and he tackled Will into the pool.
Yep. And no, he was high off that stuff. He got drunk off that scene where, you know, Will's friend came to town, and Carlton got drunk at the dinner that night and told everybody what Will was really there for.
Okay. But I just never really remember him as a drinker. I just remember him, you know, snorting Xanax.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's why when I saw that, and it was like, I was like, y'all put a lock on the wine? Like, y'all got a wine cellar now? Y'all put a lock on it? I was like, I don't never even remember him drinking like that. Or at least drinking wine, maybe some hard liquor, but not the wine.
Uncle Phil tries to reassure Carlton that, you know, it's an adjustment, but, you know, keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you, and, you know, everything's going to be okay. Carlton doesn't feel as reassured. So at breakfast, Will, you know, announces to the family that he did run into Lou. They're all trying to process the fact that they can't believe that Lou has been here all this time and hasn't tried to make any contact with Will. They was like, you know, what did he want? And it was like, he didn't want anything. You know, Will's like, you know, Will try to play hard, like he's not bothered, and that, you know, everything gonna be okay. But you can obviously tell that he's bothered.
Exactly.
Okay, so, you know, they solicit Jeffrey's help, you know, to kind of keep an eye on things and let him know that if, you know, Lou tries to approach Will, you know, let him know.
Jeffrey was the one who got the information on Lou. Said he had the barbershop, he been here, all this other stuff. So, you know, Jeffrey did. I need Jeffrey in real life, man. I need somebody like him.
Yeah, I need a Jeffrey like that.
I'll pay him handsomely. Like, hey. know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead, do what you do. I need some info on this character right
He
here.
does his job.
He do his job to the
Do
T.
his job. He
Yeah.
put that work in. When did Ivy and Hillary become BFFs? I thought they were in conflict over Jazz. I don't even remember her being in the influence house
I was okay.
because I thought there was supposed to be conflict between her and Hillary over that Simply Spike drink.
It was. And that's what I was trying to figure out as
I'm
to
confused.
when they got so cool.
Yeah.
Because I was like, y'all two last season was at odds. I was like, now all of a sudden, y'all best of friends.
And it almost seems like Ivy is her personal assistant now.
I mean, it could be, but I think it was just more so like that's why I was lost, because it was like now all of a sudden y'all seem like y'all best friends, because in the scene they spoke about, like, since Hillary had left, the influencer house went down. Like, everybody had left because she was no longer around, so it wasn't no moves being made for the influencer house to keep up to keep up with everything. But it was just the way they was interacting. I was like, yo, y'all was at odds last season because Hillary wanted to do this, and then you decided, like, nah, I'm the one who put in the bread for this house, if I remember correctly. Like,
yes, he did. Yeah.
Like, I'm the one who put up for this house, so if I want to do this deal, we're going to do this deal. And she was the one who ended up doing, like you said, that whole deal. So that's why I was lost. Like, I was like, when y'all get so cool?
Yeah, low key, they're supposed to be partners. I think they were supposed to be partners, because didn't she buy the dude out? She bought the dude out that was making her do the thirsty chef.
Mm-hmm.
It bought the dude out, and you're right. Ivy put up the money, but then Uncle Phil come behind her and buy her out, buy Hillary's out. For some reason, I feel like Hillary owns the influencer house now.
I could be wrong, and like y'all said, y'all can let us know in the comments.
Yeah, y'all can have to let me know about this, because
season 2, season 3 so far, distant in between. But if I remember correctly, Ivy was the one who put up the bulk of the money.
She did.
Ended up getting the influencer house, so that's why they were at odds, because Hillary didn't want to do that campaign, and Ivy did, or something along.
And wasn't she trying to press in on Jazz?
Yep, sure was, because Hillary, which again we're gonna get to later on in these episodes, Hillary again was faking the funk, and that's when Ivy started pressing up on.
Yep, she was faking the funk.
Because remember, Ivy was the one who drove Jazz's car in that commercial they shot.
Yep.
And Hillary kept saying
for the drink that they were trying to promote, that lemonade drink. Yeah. Yep. No, what's her name was doing the lemonade, and Ivy was doing an Ivy 2.0 or something like that. Yeah. This seems like there needs some backstory. We need some. How did we get here to this moment now? Because they seem like they're good girlfriends now, and I'm like, huh? And then you sit here telling her your business, and I'm like, she was just trying to, get up under your man, literally.
Yeah. I ain't even gonna lie. That scene right there, though, I thought we was gonna find out later on down the line that Hillary was pregnant. Yeah,
I thought
I literally did.
I did so too. So I'm glad to see Uncle Phil and Jeffrey have squashed their beef. They were kind of like at odds with each other, almost to the point where, I felt like, Jeffrey was getting ready to, do something against the family or whatever. So I'm glad to see that they kind of fixed whatever was broken with them. And Uncle Phil is basically telling Jeffrey, like, listen, you ain't got to go through this by yourself. Like, you work for me or whatever, but, we still friends. And, like, maybe you need to bring Frederick back. Jeffrey reveals to him that he's been found out, that he feels like his past from London is getting ready to come and get at them and the family. So as a result, he's beefed up the security at the mansion. He's put in a new security system, additional cameras and everything, and feels like, don't you think this is a little overkill? And Jeffrey's trying to tell him, like, oh, you don't know what I did back in London. Like, we need all this. It did so.
Yeah. But I was just like, yo, I didn't understand. It was just like, yo, Jeffrey, if you got your hand in on this much technology, you got your hands in all of these different types of pots, etc., whatever, to get this information. How is it possible you can't get the information on who it is
Yeah.
Watching you. Who it is that's calling you from London. I was like, you trying to tell me like you can't get that information?
I got a theory, but I can't say it right now because
Okay.
it relates to what we have seen in the other 2 episodes. But I got a theory as to who's sending the pictures. I don't even know what Aunt Viv talking about, nor do I care. Do you? I don't know what it is about Aunt Viv, but I'm not here for her right now. I'm not here for her right now. I'm not here. Oh, I remember now. She came in to tell Carlton that he was supposed to be going for a meeting. Miss Basson was supposed to have set up a meeting for him to meet with the people at Princeton still. And, he was trying to go in and get dressed for it or whatever. And she comes in and she pretty much tells him that, sorry, you lost the opportunity. And people are kind of still worried about you being kind of toxic. So maybe later on, but it's going to take a while. She didn't seem too motherly here.
No.
So that told me right there that she's still kind of ill with him
about
all this. She didn't bring him comfort.
She didn't.
She didn't let him down easy. She
She didn't bring him comfort at all, and like none of the episodes.
Yeah,
and none of them.
Any comfort.
Any comfort at all. Like,
at
all.
all.
It's gonna be okay. None of that.
Yeah. Try again.
We saw what she said to him later on, but it was just like, damn, like you just like being super cold. Like,
yeah, she was being cold. And that's why I'm not here for her.
Yeah.
Will going through at practice. Will he can't focus on the shots. His game is off. Like, Will, you should have called in on a sick day or something because like you just not doing what you need to be doing. And Doc senses it. And Doc like, man, get off my court because you're embarrassing me right now.
I actually liked the scene only because we saw the flashbacks. So we
saw
bothering him.
They showed us what was bothering him. Yeah,
they showed us, like him, getting into it with Lou, all the different. So that's one thing of this episode that I actually did like because it actually showed. I mean, although of course we could have guessed like that's why he was breaking shots and all this other stuff because he saw Lou, but it was the fact that they even showed like what he's thinking while he dribbling the ball. I actually like that.
That was dope, and that was well shot. I agree with that. I like that. So because of Will being thrown off with running into Lou and all this, he forgot that he had his spot that he needed to go and present to Quentin or Q's group.
Yeah. Investors.
So he shows up late. Yeah, with the investors, he shows up late. He was like a lot of other people who are hungry and want this opportunity showed up and did their presentation. You think that because we cool that that's going to get you by? Nah, maybe you need to stick to what you know best, and that's ball. And he was like, "Sorry, you lost your opportunity." And I was like, "And that's facts." I was with you on that. I was like, I get that you going through something or whatever. But, we can't bend the rules for you. The rules apply to everybody, So if you can come in here, you're not going to come in here with the silver spoon. You can come in here and you're going to earn this spot just like everybody else is.
Yep.
So I like how you put him on notice. The fact that they showed Carlton looking at the wine cellar and it being a lot, to me, I felt like they were showing us that Carlton could be in a place where he could relapse.
Yeah.
But especially after he had just gotten bad news, there's nobody there to comfort him or reassure him that everything's going to be okay. You're kind of forcing him back into looking for substance.
Yep. Like, especially the part when he goes back upstairs and he goes in his room.
He's looking for a fix.
And he pulled that drawer out. I was like, it's something up in there. But of course, we just saw it was all drug tests. So I think that's got his mind back like, okay, I got to stick with this.
But I also feel like if there was anything that was there, they had found it and replaced everything with drug tests. I feel like he didn't put those drug tests there that his family had did. Just like they had came and took the door off the hinges.
Dang, I didn't even think about that. You're right. I didn't even think about that.
I feel like whatever he may have had there in hiding for, something to fall back on, they have taken all that away. And that's why he falls down to the floor. He texts Amara and said, this shit hard. Because he's looking for, or is it Will that he's texting here? I think it may have been Will.
He was texting Amara. I think that's her name, Amara. Yeah, he was texting her
He's
because
looking
if
for
I remember
somebody
correctly,
to
she
pimp it through.
responded back.
Oh yeah. Yep. She did the way she responded back. Yep. And then Will comes in. He tells him, like, man, I had a messed up day too, bro. And Carlton's like, man, why you sitting here having a pity party for me? You need to be having a pity party for yourself. In other words, don't be trying to fix me. Fix yourself.
You.
And I was like, yo, that's some advice I would tell you.
Yeah. When he said that, I said that was another part. That was another part of this episode I like. He was like, you so busy trying to help me and make sure I'm good. You're not even good with yourself. Like, bro,
you're not good with yourself. And they've made a point to show us all throughout the episode where Will's trying to solve all of Carlton's problem and reacclimate him back into the family, reacclimate him back into Bel-Air. And like, nah, bro, you need to worry about what you trying to accomplish right now. I've made my own situation that I got to deal with, come to terms with. You need to be trying to secure yours. Yeah. So I feel like that was, even though he said it to him a little harsh, he said to him a little harshly, like, man, you got to come to terms with what's going on with you and your dad because you saw the man. The man just said hi and your whole world fell apart. You need to deal with that.
Yeah, he needed it though. So that's why when Carter said it, I was just like, okay, yeah. I was like, he ain't lying. He telling the truth. Yeah, like, bro, you tripping.
Yep. I don't even know what this conversation was about.
This was a joint where Lisa, it was outside of Lou's barbershop. So they are hanging outside of Lou's barbershop, and Lisa is like, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much like, yo, you got to do it. Like, you got to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him go into Lou's barbershop and have that conversation with him. Now, the whole interaction.
Go ahead.
Like, it was dope, but it also, like, at the same time, kind of like pissed me off in a sense, because it was just like, yo, I was like, yo, okay, Lou, you said to him, like, yo, I want to make sure I got everything good. I want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, I was back on my feet so I can step to you correct. But at the same time, you piss on your son's dreams, bruh. Like what you doing?
In other words, you basically tell him all you gonna ever be good at is basketball.
Like, exactly. Not even that. And then you try to tell him, like, you met. It was almost like and this was the vibe I got. Like, you're mad because he got the break that you didn't. Like, because he's out there in Bel-Air, he's with Uncle Phil, so he has multiple chances to do something that you couldn't do because you're trying to tell him, like, unlike you, I earned mine. But what have you earned though, bruh? You didn't earn nothing. Like, that's still your son. You should still be pushing him, like, yo, you getting breaks that I didn't get. So go for all of it. Just go for the goal. Go for all of it. But it was like at the same time, like, yo, you pissing on. I was like, yo, you pissing on your son's dream. Like, you telling him that he can't do basketball and try to do like this whatchamacallit, and then you trying to show him, like, yeah, I played ball, etc., whatever. Like, and I feel like this was ultimately what made Will quit, because he trying to prove a point. Like, he trying to prove a point to everybody, like, yo, I don't need ball to make it out. But I was like, at the same time, like, bro, you're not in Philly no more.
You know what? I never thought about that. That's exactly what probably made him quit.
That's what made him quit, because he was like, he got with Lou, and then after that whole situation. So that's how I took it. I was shocked.
I really I agree with you on that. The only thing I will say about this is I wasn't here for Will's disrespect. I understand that you're upset with your father and everything, but again, you came here. It's like he told you. He's like, I didn't come here for no effing advice. And I'm like, he was like, yeah, but you came. So you came for answers. Let's have this conversation. We can't get to a point where we can heal if every time you see me, every interaction we have, there's hostility. You came to my spot with hostility. I've been out here, you know, kind of in my own world, doing my own thing. Our paths just crossed yesterday. And he said, you know, that's God's way of forcing us to fix what's between us. Whatever. He's like, don't blame that on God and all that. I get that you're upset, and I get that you're hurt, and I get that you have questions and you need answers for. But again, y'all never got to a point of understanding the last time because the hostility led to a physical altercation. And there's two sides to every story. You've only heard your mother's side to the story. Your father was trying to express his side to you. Not that he him not being a part of your life, him being out here in the streets and ripping and running and all that stuff. That I get that, but you're moving more into adulthood. At some point, you're going to have to let up off of some of that anger in order to get to a point where at least you're cordial with your father. The man tried. He tried the best way he knew how to have a conversation with you that wasn't hostile. Even when Will was getting hostile with him, he still kept it calm or whatever. I do agree with you. I feel like he just didn't have the right words to say. He didn't say them the right way. I don't know if he truly is jealous of the fact that Will has better opportunities than him. He seemed to have gotten a little offended by the fact that Will wanted to do something else outside of basketball. I think he felt more like him and Will would connect over the basketball. And when he saw that Will had less interest in that now, he felt like maybe that was his only opportunity to connect with Will was with the basketball. But at the same time, it almost kind of felt like he was saying, that's all you're going to ever be good at anyway. Stick to what you know, because he's like, sometimes the best thing for you is what you see in the mirror. And I'm like, maybe for you.
Yeah.
But maybe not for him, because there's a chance that he's willing to take that you weren't.
Yeah. So I agree with you. Before we jump to the next thing, I agree with you with everything that you're saying 100%. But I think he didn't get disrespectful until Lou started pissing on his dream.
That's true.
And then at that point, it's just like, really? Like, because I think like if Lou would have did it the other way and would have told him like, straight up, you know what, go for that as well as go for ball. Like, you could do whatever you want to do, like be better than me, etc.
Yeah.
Like, Will probably would have been like, okay, but the fact that he pissed on it was just like, what? Like, nah, don't do that. I think that's what made that conflict come, and he just got disrespectful. Like, nah, I ain't come here for no advice. Like, I came here, you know what I'm saying? I think it was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he thought he was gonna get if the advice had been different. Yeah.
Like, I agree. I agree with you on that. This thing right here, I'm really liking how they're writing Ashley so far this season, because in previous seasons, we kind of felt like, Ashley was just kind of floating around. They was using her sexuality to create her plot story or whatever. But it seems like she's getting older and she's maturing. And I like the fact that her and Carlton confronted their issue. And I like the fact that even though she ended up giving him a hug, she still didn't pull no punches with Carlton.
Yep.
Right. And I feel like that she's going to be the one that makes Carlton stay on the right path. She's not pacifying him like everybody else is. Her and Aunt Viv, they're kind of giving Carlton that tough love.
I think she's going to be the one.
When she went and hugged him, though.
Yeah, I think she's going to be the one to try to, because like she said, oh, man, I want to wait till like we get into episodes.
We're going to have to wait. Because I know exactly what you're going.
with her, okay, I'll wait then.
Yeah.
I'll wait then.
I know where you're going.
I'll wait then. Okay.
Yep. But I thought it was dope when she hugged him.
Yeah.
It let him know, as well as artists know, that I still love you. You still my brother and everything. But look, I'm not gonna make this easy for you. And we're not gonna sit here and have a pity party about this either.
Yeah. And it was also what he needed, because you saw when he got that hug, it was just like, finally, like somebody is like accepting me with my fault. Like, yeah, comforting me. Like, we didn't see that from his mom. We didn't see that from Uncle Phil. Like, of course, we saw it with Will a little bit. We didn't really see it from Hillary. But
she tried. But
yeah, this was like the first person that just gave him a hug and was just like, yo,
it's
you
gonna
messed
be all
up,
right.
but it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Like, we're gonna work through it. So he needed that.
Okay, so we have the Juneteenth party at the Banks Mansion, and they're all having a good time throwing a party like nobody else knows how to throw a party. And Will and Lisa, they're kind of rekindling their thing. And is this the oh God, I think this is another episode. What was the issue here at the party?
So this was the whole conversation, if I remember correctly, on. Was that the conversation on yeah. That was a conversation on what's his name? Vic Mensa's character, where he said he messed up.
Q, that's what he was telling Carlton about, how he messed up the opportunity. He wasn't going to get it back. Okay, now I remember.
Was like, yo, let me work my Carlton magic to get you back in. He was like, I'm gonna go holler at him and I'm gonna work my magic to get you back in, etc. And then at the same time, while he's talking to Will, he gets that call. And bam, boom, Shorty show up, and immediately,
Immediately on site.
as soon
And
as I
Bill
put the
on
episode
stage.
and I saw on Vid's face, I was just like,
Yo, she ain't here for that.
yeah, this ain't about to go.
Especially when she said something about in reference to her being in rehab too. She was like, "Oh, rehab."
I was like, yeah, I see where this is going, bro.
Yep, I see exactly where this is going.
I said, I see exactly where this is going.
Yep.
And Uncle Phil was the only one was just like, hey, they say they friends, like just let it out. But I was like, nah,
She
gonna say something.
She ain't going. She gonna say something, right?
I was like, she not about to let that slide at all. I was like, yeah, she gonna say something. So I can't even lie. I was just like, yeah, I see it coming.
Yep. And I get it, Aunt Ville, but at the same time, like you got to let your defenses down a little bit, because when you should have had your defenses up, you didn't. Like the boy has admitted his wrongdoing. Now you got to help heal past that. You got to heal too. Sometimes our loved ones have a habit of reminding us of our mistakes, instead of, moving past them. In order for me to continue on the right path, you got to let me do the work. You got to let me heal. We got to heal from this together. But if you keep constantly living in that moment of the past where I've made the mistake, then you're never going to get past it. And I think that's where Aunt Viv is at. Aunt Viv is in that moment where she keeps beating herself up because she didn't realize that Carlton was so far gone.
Yeah.
So she feels responsible for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's punishing him for the way she feels about her processing all this.
Yep.
All right.
I love this scene too.
What happened here?
Because this was a scene where
we were talking about Jazz, I think.
Yep. Will, Ashley, and Hillary, they just having a whole discussion, and then they end up bringing up Jazz, and then they showed up Marcus and everything, and both of Will and Ashley like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying, like with Jazz, and then Jazz pops up with some shorty, and then here comes Ivy again, and I'm just like, yo, like, when did y'all get this cool? And I'm like, why are you there?
Because of who she is, that we're keeping the character around.
It possibly could be. I mean,
because there was a Chris Brown reference in one of her comments. I can't remember what it was, or if it was even in this episode. I mean, I gotta go back and watch.
It could be, or it could just be more so that maybe we see later on down the line how Ivy is trying to use, because man, I hate to go.
She's trying to slide. She's trying to slide. My antennas are up.
Yeah,
I feel like, and we can't talk about it, but I feel like based on what happened with you know who,
yeah,
if you know who is still around, then she could try to slide in and get that, just like she did with. We'll talk about it later.
Nah, I don't even think that. I think it's more so like she's trying to use Hillary to get better advantages.
Okay.
For the influencer house, especially now since she's with LaMarcus.
Okay, that's a different perspective. I see it slightly a little bit different, but okay. I got to go back and rewind.
She like, yo,
your perspective.
Yeah, like, yo, she can open doors and get the influencer house.
Yeah, because she did make comments about all the stuff that she was getting, all the gifts and stuff that she had been. You might be right about it.
Yep. So that's how I look at it, because I'm like, yo, why you still around? Man, this scene made me so mad.
Yeah. But
like,
this although that my mom used to throw though, she might have been my mom right here.
although my mom has never ever done anything like this,
Deborah would have done this for sure.
I could see like my mom saying that to like one of my sisters or like somebody. So when they had this conversation, I was like, yo, why would you do this? I'm like, this woman helped your son through
the most difficult part of his life.
Like a difficult part. Like she helped him through rehab. Like, granted, I get it. She was in rehab herself, but it's like, yo, she helped him. Like, your son could
when she said she was a repeat offender, that was it for her. Like, would have hit the nail. She was like, beat it.
Yeah, basically, like, you don't need to be around him. It was,
really? She was like, go ahead and enjoy the food, but when you finish your play, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and make your way up out of here.
I was like,
yeah, messy ass unveiled. Carlton go in and did. He worked his Carlton Banks charm on Q.
Yep.
And he impressed Q so much that, Q was like, okay, all right. So I hear what you're talking, but what Carlton didn't realize was he was selling himself as well.
Yeah.
So while he was trying to sell Will for a second chance, he was really asking for a second chance for himself, unbeknownst.
Yeah, I didn't know that till later on. Yep. See, yeah, so this is the episode. So right here, this is when I was like, oh, something about to pop off. Or I was like, Jeffrey being sneaky. So I was like, what the hell is going on? Because I was like, but at the same time, I thought this was at the house because that's the same panel.
I did too. It's the same panel. Yeah, I did too.
So, but I was like, we saw him walking outside. So that's why I was lost. And then when I seen.
Well, actually, I feel like it is at the house. I think Jeffrey has his own living quarters on the grounds. Remember how Hillary used to live in the pool house?
I mean, yeah, but like when we saw Jeffrey up to that point where he was he was outside walking the street. Because remember, he walked in the alley because he was looking around before he got up to.
Yeah.
Because if that was the case, I think. Well, I mean, now that I think about it, I think Phil already know that Frederick is there because we saw in episode 2. But this was a shocking point for me because I wasn't expecting him to walk in and to see Frederick sitting up in the crib. I wasn't expecting that. So this was.
I feel like based off of the previous conversation, Phil had sent for Frederick. Mm-hmm. I felt like Phil was the reason behind Frederick being back, not necessarily Jeffrey.
Well, remember last season when he told him like, yo, I'll do any and everything so that y'all can, like y'all can reconnect. But I thought, remember when Jeffrey kept saying, I'm getting calls from back home. I thought Frederick was, and if I remember correctly, I could have swore Frederick was back in London last season, and that's when he was getting the calls. So to see him back, he's hiding him. I ain't gonna say like, no God. I was just like, oh man.
Maybe okay. I get where you're going with that. Yeah. Maybe he wanted everyone to think that Frederick went back to London, and that he's been hiding him out. Okay, good point.
Yeah.
Hillary over here, of course, these two characters right here still got love for each other. Jazz is still kind of bruised, and he has a right to be bruised. Hillary is trying to go and make amends with him and apologize. He ain't trying to hear that. He trying to stay hard. He trying to play hard or whatever.
No, I felt I was with Jazz on this one.
I was too because he gave her what she needed to learn about herself, and that was she run away from all her problems. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, it's only a matter of time. You're going to run away from him too. But, I may not be here to run too. Yeah. So I felt Jazz on that.
And she did. I feel like she did this out of spite.
She did do this out of spite.
Out of spite.
I feel like this is a secret that she's been holding. They had got proposed. They had got engaged on their little trip. And I feel like this wasn't probably the moment she wanted to reveal to her family that she did so, but I felt like she did it because Jazz was there and she wanted to prove to Jazz that, no, I'm not going to run away from him. I'm actually getting ready to marry him.
Yeah, because remember, LaMarcus was talking to Phil before she came and pulled him, and he like, huh?
He was getting ready to tell Uncle Phil then. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like he was about to get ready to ask
permission.
Uncle Phil, like, yo, can I have your daughter's hand in marriage?
Yes.
And then like she just pulled him like, nah, we about to make this announcement right now or whatever. And he was like, huh? So I was like, oh yeah, you doing this out of spite. I was like, that's what that is.
Yeah, you did that.
You doing this out of spite.
You did that to be messy. I agree.
I was like, you doing this just to make Jazz mad.
Yep. And Jazz looked at Ashley. Ashley was like, for what it's worth, I wished it was you.
Yeah. I was like,
hey, congratulate this hoe. She was like, okay, congratulate this hoe, but I don't feel like I want to. So Q was so impressed with Carlton's attempts to try to get Will back in his and he said, you know what? Not only do you get a second chance, but I want both of you. So you guys are going to go into business together. So the last spot I got reserved will go to the two of you. And now y'all got to work on y'all business plan. I really appreciate Carlton approaching his mother and like, yo, Mom, what's up? Like,
Yep.
what's good? You've been ducking and dodging me since I've been back. You've been kind of cold-hearted. She was like, oh, I've been busy. He's like, well, you weren't
And
too
you
busy
said
to
something
talk
to
to
my
Amir.
girl.
Yeah, you said something to my girl. Like, what's up, Mom?
She ain't talking to me now.
And this when she just unloaded a full clip on him. I wasn't expecting that as her response.
Yeah.
She was like, she basically in a nutshell said, I'm mad at you right now. And I haven't gotten past what you did. And I haven't got to a point where I can forgive you or myself for allowing you to lie to me in my face.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I need some time to work through that.
Yeah.
And
Like
you need to stay away from this girl because she need to be trying to keep herself clean. You need to be trying to keep yourself clean. Like, you got bigger issues to worry about than this girl. And I was like, well, damn, Arvia, that's kind of messed up. What did you think about the scene?
Same thing. I was just like, I wasn't expecting. At first, I was expecting for her to tell him, like, hey, yeah, I thought she was going to be like, yeah, I did speak to her. And I told her, y'all should take, like, both of y'all coming out of rehab, this, that, and the third, like, but I wasn't expecting her to say, like, every time I look at your face, I think about what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the lies you told, like, at point blank, like, I can't trust you at the moment because every time I look at you, all I think about is all those different lies you told. So
Jeffrey come in and do Jeffrey. While go on. Jeffrey come in and do Jeffrey. He had them brought a box of things over from Lou's place. And, he pretty much told Will, now listen, your father sent this over. You open it whenever you feel like it. And he was like, at some point, Will, you're going to have to address all this. And so I like how he left that with Will. He didn't force him to open the box. He didn't force him into a conversation about what had happened between him and Lou. He just kind of was very subtle with it. He eased on in there, dropped the box, said his few little things and went about his business. Uncle Phil come in here and, he started opening the box and pulling everything out. And then Will has to revisit those feelings about the whole basketball thing again and how Lou wants him to play basketball, and he feels like Lou only sees him as good enough to do basketball. So I just felt like that kind of exasperated Will's feelings already, based off of the fact that Uncle Phil is now coming in and trying to ease on in here and let him know that, well, your father ain't shit, but at the end of the day, this is all he knows. So I just felt like let the boy make his own decisions.
Exactly.
Regarding how he wants to deal with the situation.
Yeah, that's why I didn't understand when Jeffrey came with the box. And I was like, yo, like, first off, I was like, why did you go visit Lou? Number one. I was like, and then two, you visit him and then you come back with stuff. And he's just like, at some point, y'all got to. But I'm thinking at the same time, like, Jeffrey is looking at Will like, I have to have this same I have to have the same talk with Frederick.
Exactly.
But it was like, you know what I'm saying? But it was like at the same time, it was just like, yo, like, Will had already said, like, he literally said that I have nothing else going on. I can't do anything but basketball. So I was just like, why did you even go talk to Lou? Like, you know what I'm saying? And bring him like a basketball trophy, this and that. And the third, I was just like, it was kind of pointless. But
we're past that point.
Yeah, we passed that point now. But I mean, I could kind of see why, because like I said, he was just looking at it like it was Frederick.
Man, Carlson going through. I felt for him. Even though I have I feel bad for him, but at the same time, I kind of agree with something Vib said in that scene was you got to deal with the actions of your consequences. You chose, rather than revealing to your family in private what you were going through, you chose to get up on the stage in front of all these people and tell these people that you were an addict. You've got now you sitting here mad at the world because the world doesn't want to give you a second chance. You black. And you got to remember that you black every day. And when you make a decision like that, people are going to judge you and people are going to continue to judge you off of it. You got to live with your consequences. And that's what you're living in right now. So even though I feel bad that you're going through or whatever, you're going through what you're going through because of your own choice.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm not going to blame you for the addiction part because shit happened. Life is life. And life takes you down some paths that you never think that you will have to go down in life. So the fact that you turn to substance for comfort, shit like that happens every day, all day. I can get past that point. But the fact that you know that your family is such a high society type family and you're black and you chose to do that in such a public manner and think that people are not going to look at you sideways and you're dealing with your consequences. I knew that he wasn't going.
Yeah, I knew that.
I knew that he wasn't going. When he showed up, he's like, "Yo, Doc, can I talk to you?" Like, yeah. Like, damn, Doc,
that was another thing I hated about this episode. I hated the way it ended.
I did too. I didn't like the way it ended either.
I didn't like the way it ended at all. Because I was just like, yo, I was just like, I get it. Like, you trying to prove a point. But I was like, bruh, get your ass on that bus and go.
Yeah.
Like, you can do both.
Yes.
But then at the same time, I'm looking.
Big thing for him last season. That was he had to be in this group.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just.
And now it's gone. But at the same time, as the episodes progress, I'm like, okay, well, maybe he couldn't because he wouldn't have been able to do that entrepreneur thing while being in Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe
so
that's
like, okay, I get it. But it was just like, bruh, we've seen you for 2 seasons. This was you.
Yes, I have to have this.
You fought tooth and nail. You left Bel-Air Prep. You did all of this stuff.
Left the house and everything.
And now all of a sudden you like, nah, all cause like, nah, I ain't gonna do that no more. I'm gonna prove that I don't need basketball. I was like, nah, bro, get your black ass on that bus
and go
hoop. Like you can still go hoop.
Yep.
You can get your education. I know that's not a word, but like you can do multiple stuff, bro. So that's why I was like, when this part came and I was like, yeah, he ain't get on that bus.
You're making it where you're one dimensional. You're making it where it's one dimensional that you can only focus on one thing at a time. Yep. I too agree that I want to see Will do both. I want to see him do the basketball thing, and that turned out to be just one of his talents. And that he can still do this whole business thing. Because what y'all doing for the business, you definitely could have went to Vegas for. I mean, it's not a real business.
Carlton could run that while you in Vegas.
Like what we're doing with the Soul Firm. It's much like what we're doing with the Soul Firm.
Carlton could have did that while you in Vegas, bro.
Exactly.
Y'all could have got on FaceTime, connect some joints. Carlton could have ran it while you out there in Vegas hooping.
Like, so overall, the first episode, I felt like it was okay. It was okay. It was like, man, I didn't feel like this was something I was going to be running back for episode 2 for. Yeah. So I'm glad they dropped the first 3 episodes the way they did because it gave us an opportunity to get back into the Bel-Air thing because Bel-Air had been gone for a while. So I felt like dropping the first 3 episodes was a way to keep us interested in what's going to happen in next week's episode. So all right, we will drop episode 2 tomorrow as well, and we'll probably drop episode 3 maybe Monday or Tuesday, somewhere around that time frame. All right, Fresh, you got any last thoughts on the episode?
Nah, like I said, y'all heard me. I gave the episode like 5.
It's a 5.
So
it's a 5.
You know what I'm saying? But I can only hope. Only thing I hope, and Peacock, if y'all are listening, please start dropping previews for the next episode. Like it. I mean, I get it. You want to keep it a mystery for the next episode, but give us something to look forward to going into the next episodes. Like just ending it and then you just be like, okay, no previews for next episode. I don't even care if it's 5 seconds. Like you could just show like 5. It could be real Will running or Carlton jumping over a car.
No, we need previews for the upcoming episode. I agree.
It's like just give us something like to keep the people like in, like wanting to come back and watch it again. But like I said, I get it. You want to keep it a mystery and just end it with like cliffhangers to make people come back and be like, oh, I gotta watch when next week's episode come on. So, but that's my only gripe with Bel-Air.
Well, you heard it here first. All right, fam. We appreciate it. Y'all make sure y'all drop y'all comments down. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. Share the video out. And make sure you come back and check out our episode 2 review. Like I said, we'll drop that tomorrow. And we will see you guys on the next episode